Hello, friends. Today's rant is about how to help the homeless and not fund millionaire CEO lifestyles at the same time. Now, there's a couple of arguments I hear from people about, well, you shouldn't give money to beggars, people begging on the street, because A, they might spend the money irresponsibly, or B, it's better to give the money to a charity who will use the money more efficiently to to set up facilities for homeless. Now, I'd like to address both those points. I'll do the second one first in typical illogical fashion. Homeless charities do not exist to help the homeless. They may have started off like that, but they're not anymore. What are they there for? What are they there for? They're there to make money for management. Here's some numbers for you. Now, if you're being told that it's more efficient to give money to a charity than to give money directly to homeless people, consider this. The chief executive of the British Red Cross is on a salary of £184,000. That's more than the Prime Minister, more than the First Minister of Scotland. The CEO of Christian Aid, 127k. The CEO of Save the Children, UK, £160,000. And the chief executive of the global Save the Children around the world, 234k. Now, these are 2013 figures, so that's probably $250,000. Let it sink in, $250,000. Let me go on to my next point now about the Salvation Army. If you're homeless, and if you're like me, if you've got a house and you've got a job and everything's fine, you probably thought, like me, you probably thought, homeless people, roofless people, not ruthless, roofless people, rough sleepers, if they went to the Salvation Army, they would get a bed for the night for free. Wrong. I was wrong. If you go, last year I was speaking to homeless guys up in Dundee and they tipped me off about this. I checked it out and this is true. If you rock up at a Sally Army homeless hostel and you don't have what they call proof of benefits, and a lot of rough sleepers don't have proof of benefits, you pay a minimum of £30 a night. 30 quid, right? If you're in the system, if you've got proof of benefits, which a lot of rough sleepers don't, you sign over your benefits to the Salvation Army, and then you have to pay on top of that an undisclosed amount. It's not free. One of the guys I spoke to up in Dundee, he was really sad. He said a couple of years ago, he said there was a homeless hostel in Dundee and only charged £15 a night, half what the Salvation Army charges. He said, obviously, so what he does is he begs, he tries to get money for food, and then he saves up his money, and every now and again he can get a wee night in the hostel. Well, obviously, he got more nights in the hostel when this other hostel was there. He gets a lot less now. The Salvation Army are the only game in town. They've got a monopoly. So the other argument then that people say, right, they say, oh, well, yes, but if I give money to homeless people, Bill, they might spend it irresponsibly. What a lot of hogwash. Now, look, here's me, right? I worked for many, many years. I'm 56 or 55 years old now or something. I'm semi-retired. I've got a wee flat, a wee two-bedroom flat. My wife still works. I've got a fairly uneventful life. I don't have much pressure on my life or anything like that. And my wife and I, we don't try not to give each other too much aggro, too much bother, right? Compared to guys living on the street, I'm fucking Bill Gates. I've got it all right? Now, I'm not rich, right? I'm a band A two-bedroom flat. But compared to someone who's sleeping rough, I've got it all. Sorry, my PC screen's flashing. I don't know what's going on. Now, here's the thing, right? At the end of the week, and sometimes through the week, I like a wee drink. Usually on a Friday or Saturday, I just sit in the house with Elizabeth and we'll watch a bit of telly or something, a bit of catch up. And I'll get through a bottle and a half of wine, no problem. I'm not miserable, I'm not upset, I don't have anything to worry about. Compare my life to someone who's living out in the street. Here's personal experience testimony from the homeless guys I was speaking to up in Dundee. Rough sleepers. You're out in the cold, you're out in the rain, you're out in the wet. You're sleeping in the cold, the rain, the wet when you can't afford a hostel because you haven't got enough money in your wee paper cup. Often as not, you might get woken up by some drunks pissing on you. urinating on you. Oh yes. So you go to sleep and you don't know if you're going to get woken up with a kick in the face of some drunk people who think it's funny. He was saying the students sometimes are the worst for that. Don't know what that's about. Through the day, you're out there trying to get money. People looking down their nose at you because you're dirty. No shit, you're a rough sleeper. Of course you're dirty, man. Looking down their nose at you, all this sort of stuff. You know, you're getting chased with the police, getting chased with the security from the shopping centres. Life is just dreadful. In every living moment, you know, you're worried, you fear, you've got all the rest of it. Come the end of the week, if you or I were in that situation, how much bloody buckfast would you and I be buying? Do you not think maybe we might be tempted to get a wee £10 bag of smack? Maybe, just for a few moments of oblivion, to forget the fear, the misery, the horror of living and sleeping rough. Don't you think so? So if I give a couple of quid to a homeless person and they spend that money on drink, they do it with my blessing. All right? These people are not lesser than you or me. They're humans. And they've got just as much intelligence and responsibility and free will to choose what they spend their money on. Oh, well, hopefully I've covered all my points. Now, guys, I'm going to stop. Peace out.